Agents of Change is a programme of the Anglican Alliance to help Anglicans anywhere in the world tackle poverty and bring about transformation in their local communities. This presentation will give you an overview of Agents of Change. It will tell you what it's about and what's involved. But we're going to start with a Bible story, because Agents of Change is rooted in the conviction that God cares passionately about the world and all its people. It's rooted in the gospel of Jesus Christ, who came to bring good news to the poor, to bring transformation, renewal, and abundant life. At the end of the Gospel of John, we read about the third time Jesus appeared to his disciples after his resurrection. It happened like this. Peter was with some of the other disciples by the Sea of Galilee. "I'm going out to fish," Simon Peter told them, and they said, "We'll go with you." So they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples didn't realize that it was Jesus. He called out to them, "Friends, haven't you any fish?" "No," they answered. Jesus said, "Throw your net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." When they did, they were unable to haul the net in because of the large number of fish. Then the disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." As soon as Peter heard him say it's the Lord, he jumped into the water. The other disciples followed in the boat, towing the net full of fish. When they landed, they saw a fire of burning coals there with fish on it and some bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish you've just caught." So Simon Peter climbed back into the boat and dragged the net ashore. It was full of large fish. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." This account of the huge haul of fish is a wonderful story of provision, of change, and of encounter with God. It starts with a problem. The disciples have spent the night fishing, but they've not caught anything. They're fed up and disappointed. Jesus asks the disciple what the problem is and gets them to try something different, a new approach. He uses their skills as fishermen to solve the problem. It's hard work for the disciples, but the result is that the disciples have a huge catch of fish. And this isn't the only result. The disciples also recognize Jesus, and then together they share a meal and are fed. So in this story, a problem is solved, a need is met. But so much more than that happens. The practical, ordinary activity of food provision becomes a place of grace and encounter with God. This story reminds me of what Agents of Change is all about. In the course, you will identify a problem that needs solving in your community. You will also identify the assets in your community, that is, the skills, the resources and experience it has to tackle problems. You will learn all sorts of new things, and you will prepare to try something new and different. It won't be easy. The course is quite hard work. And later, putting your project plan into action will also take effort and energy. However, Jesus will be with you, and the results could be amazing. You will engage in something practical, but it might also help people experience God's kingdom. Agents of Change is a programme of the Anglican Alliance. But what is the Anglican Alliance? Well, the Anglican Alliance is a platform for Anglicans all across the world to work together for development, relief and advocacy. It brings together those in the Anglican family of churches and agencies to work for a world free of poverty and injustice, to be a voice for the voiceless, to challenge and change the unjust structures of the world, and to safeguard the earth. The vision for the Anglican Alliance began at the last Lambeth Conference back in 2008. This global meeting of Anglican bishops recognised the urgency of combating the scandal of poverty and the need for coordinated action across the Anglican Communion. The Alliance has now become a reality. It has regional facilitators in the Caribbean, South America, the Pacific and Asia, and a small secretariat based in London. But it belongs to everyone in the worldwide Anglican family. The Agents of Change course is one tool the Anglican Alliance has developed to help Anglicans tackle poverty and bring about transformation in their local communities. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, has said of the course, "The Agents of Change modules focus on vital areas of community development, grounded in academic rigour. It is a superb contribution from the Anglican Alliance to strengthen the committed and inspiring work of Anglicans around the world in holistic mission." So let's look at what the Agents of Change course offers. Agents of Change is a course that equips participants with the skills and knowledge needed to set up a development project in their local community. It looks at every stage of the process, from coming up with an idea, to planning, and to managing a project. Participants learn the practicalities, the practical steps you need to take to get a project up and running. Things like writing an action plan, budgeting, monitoring progress, and setting up a project committee to look after the running of the project. These are shown in the outer ring of the flow diagram. Participants also learn the principles of good practice that ensure a project is run well, safely and effectively. Things like consulting and including people, assessing risks, being answerable, fair, honest and open. These are shown on the inner ring of the diagram. As participants go through the course, they work on their own project idea, coming up with an idea and then developing that idea into a plan, which can be put into action at the end of the course. This is one project which has been set up as a result of the Agents of Change course. It's a tree nursery which Brother Lent set up in the Solomon Islands to tackle deforestation and climate change. Other examples of projects worked on to date by Agents of Change participants include a piggery project to generate income for a rural community with high unemployment, a motorbike ambulance project to help people in remote rural areas access health centres, a school leavers club to help young people move on to employment, a community beautification scheme, and a vegetable garden to provide food and income for a women's refuge. The full Agents of Change course consists of 8 modules, which participants study at their own pace through distance learning, and with the support of an overseas mentor. We're also trying a 4-day version of the course as a taster, in which we will cover many of its key components. So what's in the full course? Well, Module 1, Dreaming Dreams, explores the Anglican 5 marks of mission, community, a community's strengths, its assets. We look at how to analyse problems and come up with solutions. And in it, participants come up with a project idea and set objectives for their project. Module 2 is all about consulting your community, involving them, finding things out and sharing your ideas. Module 3 looks at planning, everything from making an action plan to working out what resources you will need, estimating costs and preparing a budget. Modules 4 to 7 look at different areas of good practice which will make your project the best it can be. So Module 4 looks at being inclusive, taking special care to involve those people who are often ignored or overlooked or marginalised. Module 5 covers issues to do with protection, keeping everybody safe. Among other things, you will learn about safeguarding and how to do a risk assessment. Module 6 looks at governance, the leadership of the project. You will learn about setting up a group to oversee the work of the project and the values that will underpin all you do. Module 7 looks at money, how to manage the project's finances well. You will learn some practical tools for record keeping and monitoring your budget, and will think about some of the issues around money. Then finally, in Module 8, you will learn about managing your project once it's up and running, how to monitor progress, how to manage change, and how to work with volunteers. There's a workbook to go with each module, which participants complete and send to their mentor for feedback. And as you go through the course, you will apply your learning to your project idea, developing it into a plan, which can be put into action once you finish the course. So there's a lot in the course, but it will equip you with the knowledge and skills you need to be an agent of change in your community. One of the first people to complete the Agents of Change course was Dennis Kabakabe in the Solomon Islands, which are in the South Pacific. He has shared the course with a community of Franciscan brothers to help them develop a skills training centre, offering skills such as carpentry, poultry rearing and pig rearing, skills they're planning to share with the wider community. Here Dennis talks about the challenges his community faces and his experience of the Agents of Change course.
Life in Solomon Islands, especially in rural setting, is very challenging as they are more a subsistence farming, or if you like, they are mostly depending on the gardening, fishing, and the environment out here is very challenging because of the weather patterns, not to mention the climate change effects that is having on them, and how they struggle to make their livelihood in those difficult environmental situations. But having gone through this course, Agents of Change gives us the knowledge and the tool in which to get around in finding solutions that will enable them to survive now and into the future.
Would you recommend the Agents of Change course to other people who might be thinking about it at the moment?
I would recommend it very highly to other people and those who are doing it, because I think that is the tool which is most relevant in the rural settings here in Solomon Islands, and also, I think, throughout the world.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about doing the course at the moment? What things do they need to think about before committing to the course?
They have to think about serving the rural community and the groups of people who are struggling to make a difference in their life, to live a healthy life, to live a good Christian life, and life that is fulfilling and purposeful. The students need to be focused, need to really be passionate about, and also they need to strive in helping and serving others to make a difference in their life and the problems they face. If you are interested in becoming an agent of change, please get in touch with me, Elizabeth Perry, on this email address. We're aiming to launch more people on the course towards the end of the year. It's best if a group of people apply together, so you have support from each other as well as from your overseas mentor. Thanks for listening to this presentation. I hope you enjoy the rest of your gathering. God bless.